3 days, no scoop, no camera, no recap, no Phil sitting there trying to make sense of the madness. And you'd think maybe things would slow down. You'd think maybe the room would take a breath. You think maybe I could miss a couple days and come back to a quiet little poker update? Nope. Not even close. Because while the scoop paused, Sal's room kept moving, seats got won, chops happened, the online streets did what the online streets do, and somehow, after 3 days away, I came back to the chair with a pile of poker stories waiting for me. So yeah, we're back, and apparently we've got some catching up to do. Lovely day, poker enthusiast. Welcome back to Sal's Scoop. And I mean that literally today. Welcome back. Because we went 3 days with no scoop, and somehow this place still found a way to stack up stories like I left the room unattended. Sunday night online, Calvin Lake secured his seat for the August 8th championship game. That's not just a little online result, that's one more name locked into that championship picture. One more player with a real seat. One more person who does not have to wonder anymore. Calvin Lake is in, and in that same game, nodealsdalton bagged 470 for second place. So while I was away, the August 8th road kept moving, the ladder kept moving, the championship picture got a little clearer. And that's the thing about poker. You can step away from the update, but the game doesn't pause for you. And honestly, that might be the whole story today. The scoop paused, the room didn't. No. That is exactly the story. Because this is what happens when you think you are the engine. You find out very quickly you are not the engine. You are the guy with the microphone. The room is the engine. The players are the engine. The games are the engine. The rebuys, the satellites, the chops, the bad decisions at 7 p.m. That's the engine, Phil. Phil disappears for 3 days, and what happens? Calvin Lake locks up a championship seat. nodealsdalton grabs second. Monday comes around and the live room says, "Oh, you're not filming? Cute. We're still giving away seats." And that is why this place works. It's not waiting for the camera. It's not waiting for the recap. It's not waiting for Phil to have his coffee and fix his hair. Although, let's be honest, that part could use a few extra minutes. The room kept moving. And that is not a problem. That is the proof. And Monday night at Sal's room, we had the 550 big game satellite. 12 players entered, and when it was over, 2 seats were awarded. Jenna Hennebury scooped one, and her mom Anna scooped the second. Now, come on, that is a story. That is not just 2 names on a results board. That is mother and daughter both locking up 550 seats on the same night. That's the kind of thing that makes a room feel like more than a poker room, you know? Because yes, we track the players, we track the rebuys, we track the seats, but every now and then the result has a little extra life in it. And Jenna and Anna both getting through on the same night, that's one of those moments. 12 players showed up, 2 seats went out, and the Hennebury household walked away with both of them. That is strong, that is fun, and that is exactly why these satellites matter. Because one night you're just playing a qualifier, and the next thing you know, 2 seats are coming home with the same family. See, that is the kind of thing that gets missed when people only look at poker as buy-ins and payouts. They see 12 players, they see 2 seats, they see a satellite result. But zoom out, because there's always a bigger picture. Jenna gets a seat, Anna gets a seat, mom and daughter both punched their tickets. That is the kind of result that has a little personality to it. That is the kind of thing people talk about when they walk into the room. Not because it was the biggest field ever, not because it was the craziest prize pool ever, but because it felt like something. And that's what the scoop is supposed to catch. Not just who won, but why the win feels different. And that one feels different. Mom and daughter, 2 seats, same night. That is a poker room story. And then last night, Turbulent Tuesday lived up to the name. 10 players came out, 17 rebuys. And by the end of the night, it was a 2-way chop between Graham Bodwell and Mootrey. Now that right there is a clean little Tuesday battle. 10 players, 17 rebuys. That means people were not just sitting there folding into the night. They were firing. They were rebuying. They were trying to get there. And in the end, Graham and Dan got to the finish line together. A two-way chop. A shared finish. A good Tuesday result. And again, this is what I mean. I missed 3 days, and in those 3 days, we had a championship seat locked up online, a second place cash from nodealsdalton, 2 550 seats won by Jenna and Anna, a Turbulent Tuesday chat between Graham and Dan. This room does not need a daily episode to become a story. The story is already happening. The scoop just where we go back to look and point at it. And let's not skip the detail in that Tuesday game either. 10 players, 17 rebuys. That tells you something. That says the game had movement. That says chips were changing hands. That says somebody probably said, I'm only firing once tonight. And then immediately fired again. That is poker. That's Tuesday. That's Turbulent Tuesday doing Turbulent Tuesday things. And Graham Bodwell and Dan Mootrey chopping it up at the end. That fits. Because some nights the story is one person steamrolling the room. Some nights the story is the room refusing to die. And some nights the story is 2 players getting to the end and saying, yeah, this works. Not every finish needs a dramatic speech. Sometimes the chop is the story. Online last night, Tina Chafe won the Daily Freebuy. Tina scooped $3.05. And no other games fired up online. Now look, that is not the flashiest online recap we've ever had. That is not a giant list of winners. That is not a board full of late night chaos. But it still matters. Because the Freebuy fired. Tina won it. And that gets said here. That is the deal. Big result, we say it. Small result, we say it. Championship seat, we say it. $3.05, we say it. Because if you win the thing that runs, you won the thing that runs. So, congratulations to Tina Chafe, Daily Freebuy winner, $3.05 richer, and officially part of the 3-day pile-up. And I respect that, because poker players are funny. They will laugh at 305, then lose 60 chasing a draw they had no business chasing. So let's not pretend money only matters when the number is big. Winning matters. Showing up matters. Games firing matters. And on a night where no other online games got going, Tina Chafe still got the job done. That's the truth. Not every online night is fireworks. Sometimes it is one game, one winner, one little line on the board. And that still belongs to somebody. So yes, Tina gets the mention, as she should. Now, tonight live at Sal's Room, 7:30 p.m. It's the Wicked Wednesday, the $20 double rebuy game. $20 buy-in, $20 rebuys, and a $20 add-on. And remember the twist, you can rebuy if you have 25,000 chips or less. That little detail matters because it changes the way the game feels. You're not just busting and rebuying. You can still be alive, still have chips, still be looking around saying, I don't love where I'm at here. And if you are at 25,000 or less, you can reload. That creates action. That creates decisions. That creates the kind of Wednesday night where people have to ask themselves, am I good? Or am I just pretending I'm good because I don't want to spend another $20? And that, my friends, is where poker starts telling the truth. That 25,000 chip rebuy line is sneaky because poker players love lying to themselves. They will sit there with a wounded stack, a sad stack, a stack that looks like it needs a blanket, and still say, no, I'm fine. Are you? Are you fine? Or are you just emotionally attached to the 20 chips you have? Wicked Wednesday gives you the option. 20 buy-in, 20 rebuys, 20 add-on. And if you're at 25,000 or less, you can make a decision. Reload, battle, build, or sit there protecting crumbs while the rest of the table builds towers. That is not me judging. That is me observing, aggressively, with love, mostly. And on 9 tonight, we're back to a full board. 5:30 p.m. is the 550 and 850 step ones. 6 p.m. the Daily Freebuy. 7 p.m. the PLO 4-card bad decisions game. 8 p.m. the 550 and 850 step 2s. 8:30 p.m. the Flop and Pop. 9 p.m. Phil's Deep Stack Thrills. 10 p.m. the Last Dash for Cash. That is your online path tonight. Start small, take a shot, win a step, chase a seat, play the free buy, make one good decision, or in PLO, make 4 bad ones and call it entertainment. Either way, the board is there, the games are listed, and the room is moving again. Actually, let me correct that. The room never stopped moving. I just stopped talking about it for 3 days. Exactly, and that is why today matters. Not because it's the biggest scoop, not because every online game fired, not because the numbers were outrageous. Today matters because it reminds everyone what this thing actually is. It is a rhythm, live games, online games, satellites, free buys, rebuys, chops, people getting seats, people missing seats, people coming back tomorrow anyway. That is the machine. And when the scoop misses a few days, the machine does not stop. It just gives Phil more work when he gets back, which honestly feels fair. 3 days no scoop, a lot happened. That is not a problem. That is a sign of life. So there it is, Sal Scoop 331. 3 days later, Calvin Lake secured his seat for the August 8th championship game. No Deals Dalton bagged 470 for second in that same game. Jenna Hennebury and Anna Hennebury scooped the 2 550 seats Monday night. Graham Bodwell, Don Mootrey chopped Turbulent Tuesday. Tina Chafe won the Daily Freebuy for $3.05. And tonight we're live again with the Wicked Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. 20 buy-in, 20 rebuys, 20 add-ons. Rebuy available at 25,000 chips or less. Online starts at 5:30 with the step ones and runs all the way through the Last Dash for Cash at 10. The scoop paused, the room didn't. And honestly, that might be the best thing I can say about Sal's room. It does not need perfect timing. It does not need perfect coverage. It does not need every day to be clean. It just needs people to keep showing up. And they did. So now I'm showing back up too. Thanks for watching. See you on the felt, and run good, you legend.